too mad, there's no control of me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know, my rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad. Shut up.
It is Thursday. You know what time it is. Is the Heal the Ring podcast AEW review. It's Fyter Fest week 1. Before we get into the nuts and bolts, first of all, let's get our casual and say hello to Heal. But before that, if you're not down with the Heal the Ring podcast, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe. Heal, what is up, my man?
Nothing much. I'm just excited to talk about some AEW. Let's do it.
All right, all Elite Wrestling. And here we go. Week 1 of Fyter Fest kicks off. And a lot of actions. Dynamite jam-packed, high-stake action. The TNT title, the tag team titles up for grabs. And, of course, Warlord, who's been on a roll here, phenomenal. It is the story of 2022 here. Takes on nothing beats a good opening match with a freshly squeezed cup of Orange Cassidy. Now, when you see this match to start off the show, wow, what is up, my main man, Alex Coquito in the building. Salute, Alex Coquito. Now, Heel, the first match, Warlow, Orange Cassidy. What was your thoughts on that? I was like, go ahead.
My first thoughts was like, wait a minute, this could have been a pay-per-view match. But then I was like, okay, I see. They really want to get this Fyter Fest thing really over. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and get this Fyter Fest thing over by doing a great opener, at least on paper, with Orange Cassidy versus Wardlow. And I'm really happy they're pushing Wardlow. And that they had a slight stare down at the beginning, which really put over the match. And then I was just loving it. Now, you want to talk about who won, or do you want to talk about the match?
Yes, I'm gonna give you yes, we'll get to that. Yeah. But my thoughts were, okay, this is Warlow's first title defense on AEW. You know, I had a little bit of an issue. Because right now no one's much over than Orange Cassidy. I know it's a little bit of a comedy match. And like some people, like I see Alex says, he loves the first match because the fact of the variety when eventually Warlow has to do a match of comedy, so we get it out of the way. You know, Orange Cassidy, although he's a little bit of a comedy, but he's a good in-ring performer. I'm still impressed with him in Ospreay's match. I thought that was a phenomenal match. I loved it. And also, like I always tell everyone, and I always say something, AEW doesn't have a young fan base yet. They want a piece of some young adult, young viewing audience. You know, the 7 to 14-year-old range, you see a lot of kids dressed up in cosplay with an Orange Cassidy, with the jeans, with this comb over, with the glasses. I get it. I like, some people don't like the Orange Cassidy gimmick, but he's over right now, And one thing I didn't like for Warlord, they should have put in another heel or another person, not kind of a squash match, but yeah, kind of a squash match type of deal for his first title defense. I get what they're trying to do here, get us invested with 2 group wrestlers, but at the end of the night, you saw the crowd divided. There was Orange Cassidy cheers and Warlord, especially if you want to make Warlord, who is your homegrown talent, over, eventually be the face of the company. Not a good start when you could in his first title defense, you have the crowd split. We saw a lot of back and forth. You saw the orange squeeze punch from Cassidy. He made it seem. Some people knew that Warlow wasn't going to drop the TNT title, but there was a lot of near false finishes where, oh crap, Orange Cassidy is really a serious threat here. You know, before we give the result, the spoiler of the match, the outcome, and I kind of did. So we all know. I just said, you know, we false finishes. Yes, it was Orange Cassidy falls to Warlord, but it wasn't as we thought it was. When especially after, you know, the F10, you know, I'm stealing from Brock, and he kicks out of it. You know, that's a finish they should have protected for maybe when he goes for a title run, and you know, a bigger opponent kicks out. And if you have Orange Cassidy in your first match kick out on your F10, ooh, that was rough. What's your thoughts, Heel?
Oh yeah, and I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I love the start with, and it was a really simple spot too. I love when, you know, Orange Cassidy just staring at him with his pockets, and then Wardlow just rips out his pockets. It was a really simple but effective spot, you know, some old school booking, and I really loved it. And then you like you said, you had them going at it. Now, the only thing I guess I can nitpick here, I don't think it's that big a deal because obviously it's AEW, so, and you kind of have to have both wrestlers shine here in a weird way. It's probably Orange Cassidy, like you said, kicking out of a lot of Wardlow moves, because I think if you have Wardlow over strong here, it actually bodes well with Wardlow, and it boosts his rating to infinity, and it makes him come off like a beast. I mean, he's already being booked like one, but I think this match should have been absolutely Wardlow all the way. Like I don't think Orange Cassidy should have really kicked out anything. I think it should have been the story of like Orange Cassidy just trying to survive. That's just a nitpick of mine. But, you know, I get it. You had to make both of them shine, you know, whatnot. And that's just the AEW way. At least 99.9% of the time. But either way, you know, we all know Orange Cassidy's a great performer. He did a great job for what he was doing. And honestly, I think overall, a great way to open up the match. Because, like, even though I don't like the fact that they made the fans divided on Wardlow, considering how over Orange Cassidy is, it still got everyone up and pumping and, you know, ready to go for the show. You know, so so the weird question is, did this do its purpose by getting the fans pumped up for the show? Absolutely. It got everyone ready to go, pumped up. But was it good for Wardlow? Little bit suspect on that.
I agree
overall, I enjoyed it though.
No, the match was great. You know,
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. The fact when, you know, Cassidy puts his hands in his pockets, Wardlow takes his hands out, rip his pockets there, and then Cassidy puts on the straps like, you're not going to finish me. You know, I love that back and forth. It was classic wrestling. You know, you're talking about mid 80s, early 90s. I know some people don't like it. Maybe they weren't around for it, but I liked it. You know, it wasn't too much. That was good about it. Also, like the fact that, remember, his best friend said they're gonna need a miracle to pretty much beat Warlord. You know, they were like, oh, you know, they knew they were gonna get beat, but like you said, I wish it wasn't a squash. I wish it was more of a squash. But I understand you got to protect Orange Cassidy because personally, I think he's one of the most underappreciated professional wrestlers on television right now.
Yeah,
personally.
Definitely. And I started out hating Orange Cassidy because, like, I didn't really get the gimmick. It wasn't really over with me. But then he grew on me, you know? And sometimes that happens with the wrestler. They just grow on you naturally. And I now like Orange Cassidy. Like, will I ever say he's one of my favorite wrestlers? No, but I do like him.
Right. And remember, the commentary also told us, you know, that Cassidy, his status, he is one of the most winningest wrestlers in AEW roster. So I guess they were hyping him also to, hey, Warlow is not in there with a chump either. So in case, I guess they were kind of protecting that where Cassidy's going to jump out of his finishes or justifying the fact that he's not going to be easy pushover for Warlord because he is, you know, one of the most winning matches in AEW. And also, you know, what's your thoughts about Danhausen hiding underneath the ring there? A little bit more of the comedy.
Yeah, you know what? I know a lot of people are really iffy on comedy and wrestling, but I really do love it. Hence why Danhausen, I'm starting to love him more and more. This guy really is one of the most hidden gems in AEW right now. Like, I love everything Danhausen does. I like his gimmick. I like everything about him. He kind of reminds me of like the early years of cartoons. You know what I mean? Like from that 1980s, 90s, even a little bit early 2000s. Like he really is one of the hidden gems. Like, do I ever think he's gonna hold the world title like that? No, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to be entertaining. He'll be one of those random gimmicks that you just remember for years to come. Like the Hurricane, or like we talk about Kanfunaki or something like that. He'll be that random gimmick that you just remember for years to come. It'll be like you'll be like, why do I remember that? Because he was so entertaining.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was so intimidating. He didn't even curse. He didn't even curse the big man Warlord. He just, you know what? You're over, bro. I can't even curse you. And, so I like that too. Yeah, I'm not hating on it. I liked it. For the first match, it did its purpose. TNT champion there, and we saw Warlord go over. What I loved about the end of the match was Warlord giving the acknowledgement of respect to Orange Cassidy. I was like, phenomenal. I loved it. It was great. Even though Orange Cassidy gives that lethargic handshake, but I liked it. I was like, and guys, I am not saying I did not like it. I just thought, you want to make Warlord this persona, like, whoa, like this, and I hate to say kind of Goldberg 2.0-ish type of deal. But I guess this is AEW's version of story to say that, because they get a lot of flack and a lot of heat anyway from tribal WD guys and people, and you're just copy and pasting. And I've said it before in the past. I'm not gonna hide. You guys are copy and pasting. Which I'm gonna get to that later. So, you know what? I gotta kind of eat a little crow myself. Yes, I'm saying it. And they did it the AEW way. And you know what? I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was good. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I did too. And I think we all said it. I think we all said AEW is WCW 2.0. So, I mean, I think you'd be lying if you said you haven't. That goes for everyone.
Right. So we move on here to none other than the Wizard, the Lionheart, Y2J, KY Jelly. Now the Painmaker comes out. Chris Jericho cuts a freaking good promo, bro. I love the promo. I love the promo. He was serious, and first and foremost, I love the attire he came out in his suit. What do you think about, Jericho, typical Jericho? He hooked me and told me he's going to have a match again with Eddie Kingston. They talk about WWE giving us repeat matches, but here's another Eddie Kingston in the Shark Tank with Bob Wire, first ever Bob Wire. I love the fact that Jericho reminded us he was the first young Canadian to have the first Bob Wire match in Canada, and now he's reminding us about his laurels and history. Now, as if you're a casual and you see that, you want to turn in and see this match because of what Jericho's promo engaged you and pulled you in. What was your thoughts on that?
Honestly, like this again, it was another good promo by Jericho, because anyone that knows Jericho knows that he is absolutely one of the best on the mic. And again, from the moment he stepped in to the WWE arena against The Rock, that's when we all knew this guy is great on the mic, and he still is to this day. I mean, granted, does he cut something that's a little bit off sometimes? Yeah, of course he does, but who doesn't every now and again on the mic? But yeah, it was another good promo by Y2J himself, and I mean, I don't know what else we're supposed to say. And yeah, he gave a nice backstory on his career, and yeah, it does make you want to watch this match. And I don't know what more you can say. Chris Jericho is just one of the best on the stick.
Yeah, and I see that in the chat he doesn't compare to Chris's promo. No, we're not comparing. We're not measuring cocks here on which is the better promo between the wrestlers. We're just trying to say for that segment, for that particular moment there at that time, for what Jericho ingredients he's got to put there when trying to get us to invest into him and versus Eddie Kingston. It worked. It wasn't about oh my God, he's gonna win promo of the year. No, I just like. For me, I'm not a fan of Eddie Kingston. I think he sucks. I'm just, I get it that he wrestles, and I always say it in my program. I respect those guys that get in the ring because they're out there performing for us. But for me, he doesn't move me the needle to want to see Eddie Kingston. But now with a Jericho, it kind of moved me in the needle. I want to see it. Despite the fact I hope he gets his ass kicked, Eddie Kingston. I want to watch it. So with Jericho saying, he wants to taste my blood and all that sin stuff, it makes me invested. I want to watch it. So it wasn't Christian, but I get it. It worked well because we got a lot of flowers. I've got here a couple dozens of flowers to give to Christian when his time is coming up shortly when we get to his segment, because I can't wait to talk about that there. But we have a match here. Now, this is something I have a little bit of disagreement. I know you probably disagree with me already. I think this match with Moxley, they should have put it either in the cross hour from 9 to 8, not 8 to 9, or your main event, because this is the freaking, even though it's an interim, a substitute champion, because remember, let's face it, that's what interim is. When you have look at the Blue Jays, they fired their manager Montoya, so they got an interim just for now manager until we hire someone better than you who could manage the team, and that's what they're trying to say with that. I hate to say it. That's why I was kind of like, put an interim, but I don't want to get away from that. Moxley taking on Konsoshi Takeshi. I really like Takeshi. I remember that match with Adam Page. I remember you mentioned when Adam Page was the champ. I was like, you know what? The champion shouldn't have looked that way. But this freaking kid is very good. I'm a fan of him. I hope that they don't, he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. This kid could go, man. I was excited with him. I was like, oh, this kid again, Takeshi. I said, let's take a look at it with Moxley. What was your? And once again, I want to give flowers to Moxley. I don't care too much for his matches, but everyone he gets in the freaking ring with, he makes them go over and looks good against him. He sells them their moves, and he makes them look like sports entertainers, wrestlers. And I got to give Moxley that flower. I as much as I don't like him too much, but I got to give him the props in his flowers, man.
Yeah, Moxley does have a very clean wrestling style, and I think that comes from his WWE background, or at least a little bit of it, because
I think a little before that, though.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of both, because even if you go back and watch Jon Moxley before he came to WWE, he never really was necessarily the high flying type. But I think WWE just kind of seasoned that even more, if you know what I mean. And then, but yeah, the other kid though, Tasaki or whatever, I'm still learning how to pronounce his name, and one day I will. The kid is just amazing. If I'm being honest with you, if I'm Tony Khan and I see this kid, I'm like, do you want to work for AEW for at least like 5 years? I'll offer you like a nice 5-year deal. Or even make sure you hold the AEW championship for like at least once. Because every time I watch him, I'm always curious about his matches, and he always seems to put on good to great matches. And I don't know, like, it's rare for me to get invested in a Jon Moxley match, because it's like, oh, they're always going to be this generic kind of like bloody match. And granted, there was blood, but yeah, he just, I don't know, he made something about this match feel different. I don't know what it was, but he made it feel different. I guess because we view him as an underdog, kind of, because we knew he wasn't going to win. I don't know what it was. But yeah, it was just nice and refreshing to see a story being told without necessarily a story being there. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh no, you're making sense. You know what it's giving us parallel, and I'm not saying they don't totally look at two different wrestlers. They even look totally different. Not because of the ethnicity. Talking about body type. He reminds me of Shawn Wyman, aka the 1-2-3 Kid, when he first burst on the scene in WWE. That underdog, competitive matches. And I'm not saying it's the same exact thing, but it's something similar. It's like a little bit of a, we know he's not going to win. He's an underdog, but damn, the kid is freaking entertaining. And to the point where it's like, dude, even though you're losing in your matches, you lost to two of the champions, former or champions of AEW, the top-notch guys of the company. You looked at very freaking well in that match. You looked at phenomenal. You held your own. You entertained. I want to see more of you. I already know what I'm going to get from Moxley, and I know what I'm going to get from Hangman. But Takashi, I want to see more of him. Tell me when he's gonna wrestle again. I'm excited. I'm invested. I want to see this guy more. And he doesn't have to cut promos. Get me in there. Get some wins. Where is this guy? Where did he came from? I want to know a backstory from him. How long has he been in a professional wrestler? I'm personally hook, line, and sinker with me. I'm a fan.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go this far, but I'm just saying if they end up booking him right, he could end up being another Daniel Bryan story where he comes from like nowhere to like absolutely one of your biggest stars if you book him right, because he's got that potential. I'm being honest with you.
Not only that, you're introducing him to the American audience. You make him big. You make him big in the American audience. And AEW, you make him. You make him. And how refreshing if they bring this guy in, build him up, hand him some titles, go on a reign. He is not an ex-WWE guy. So now you take them WWE marks and say, shut up, because we bought another guy from outside, from somewhere else, and we're now marketing him in AEW and making him a star. You shut the critics. And I hope they do that with this kid, because man, he's not a bad performer. He doesn't botch. No. He is good.
No, so, you got to start in the making here. Now you got to just book him right and give him what he needs.
Right. I personally, I wish the match was later on. Either like I said, either crossover hour at 9 o'clock going 8 to going to 9. So get us invested. Oh, the champion's here. You also hook and retain your 8 o'clock audience. To go into finish to finish off the program, especially what we know what's going to happen after the 9 o'clock match. So you still hold people in with the champion, or you leave them at the main event. You're like, oh, the champion is fighting at the end. Oh, let's take this. Who's the champion? Moxley? I'm going to stay and watch the champion. Who's this champion? And then the kid, since he performed so well, you're like, you know what? That was good. You know what? This AEW, if you're new, casual, just clicking wrestling, this AEW is not bad. The title match was really good with, and so forth. Although this main event tonight wasn't bad either. It wasn't bad either. It was not a bad closing. I'm not saying tonight was a bad closing either. We'll get to it. I'm just saying the second match, the crowd is hot with Warlord. You could have put something different there, and just so it's a roller coaster. You don't want to get your people. You don't want to get the crowd fatigued by 9:30. I'll get to that in a moment. Why? And that match, we see the champion win. I wish the champion would have got a pin. I didn't like the Bulldog finish with the top. I'm just nitpicking. I'm just nitpicking. We get the champion to win. All in all, the champion was going to win. We knew it. But the champion wins, and we end up talking more about the challenger than the champion. So it served its purpose.
Oh yeah.
No, we move on here. We get a backstage promo, and we'll see Eddie Kingston, already irate, says he got more time than me. I guess they told him he only had 30, 45 seconds. He was already complaining. Kingston got on the mic, talked about Rui Soho's injury, her hand, more of the same stuff. This is gonna be the final once and for all match there. What's your thoughts on the Kingston promo?
He could have done a lot better, and I think he had a nice lead with the promo talking about how Jericho had more time with him, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, what's he gonna say after that? And then he just went downhill after that, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like,
I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why you get 30 seconds, my friend.
Yeah, pretty much. yeah. Because I thought he was gonna go on a full-on rant about oh, there's no way this guy should have got more time than me. I was like, you're not even gonna pull the WWE card. And then we're like, he got more time than me because he's the ex-WWE guy, and I'm gonna beat him, and you're gonna see why AEW's time. None of that. You're not gonna say none of that. It's just, oh, Rui Soho got injured. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
yeah, whatever. But I still want to watch the match, And I love the fact, like Jericho said, you just a Terry Funk, Sandman, Sabu, wannabe. And you know what? I'm not the only one that said that. When he said that, a peek behind the inside, I was at NXT Live with the crowd, and I wasn't even engaging in talking to people. We would just, conversate, and all the conversation was how terrible, They don't like Kingston either. So I was like, I did try to stick up a little bit for him. I'm not a fan of him, but his matches, he's just he wants to be another innovator of violence. I get it. You want to be a hardcore violent, but when you slap someone's chest and you slap in your belly at the same time, it's hard to be thinking you're an innovator of violence when you're trying to do those bad chops in the corner. I'm sorry, Kingston, but let's stay away from that. We're going through a rabbit hole. We don't want, sorry guys if we offend you. If you're a Kingston fan, we apologize with that, but we'll move on here. For the best part of one of the nights here, we get Luchasaurus comes out with Christian. Now Christian has his own. I love the fact that they come with their own introduction. First, Christian's intro. It's a match, with Hollywood Blondes. Griff Garrison with Brian Pillman Jr. They're gonna go one-on-one. Griff Garrison and Luchasaurus. But before the entrance, I love the fact Christian comes out with his own, and Luchasaurus with Luchasaurus Kane 2.0 version. It's okay. I'm not gonna say it's a rip-off because you want to make this guy scary, and one of the most scariest introductions, besides Undertaker, was a Kane. I understand his red, the fire, a little bit of the organ. You know what? Let him have the cake. You know what? Luchasaurus, we know that gimmick isn't going far. It's gonna have a shelf life. A freaking lizard or whatever dinosaur. Wrestling. It's not gonna go far. Let them have their cake with it. I'm not gonna be nitpicking on that. I kind of like it personally. Maybe because I kind of like it. Before that, what was your thoughts of them? What's your opinion of them coming different and the introductions?
I like them coming out separate. I wouldn't even mind if they actually did like a Christian is a Paul Heyman introducing the Luchasaurus type of deal. I'm not saying they have to do that, but it'd be cool if they kind of did that, just see how it goes one week. But yeah, I really do like it, and then to be honest with you, I like Luchasaurus' new gear. Granted, it's a stereotypical black, but I do like it. You know what I would do? I would actually do it where I don't know if it's possible, but I would have it where his tongue looks longer, like an actual lizard.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't know. But the money that they have, they could have invested in a little prosthetics. So who knows? We'll see if maybe Khan doesn't want to go on that route. Gimmicky. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good idea.
Yeah,
it might work or it might look cheesy. It all depends on the prosthetics that they get.
Yeah. Either way, I think it looks. I think it looks great right now where it is. But
it is. And what about now? Let's go with the promo of the night. I know we see in the chat Christian promo. Christian comes out. He rips again on not just another father figure, and the late Brian Pillman. Although he gives him some respect, he said although he was just a mid card, an average wrestler at best, but he respects the contribution he has in the business. Christian, my God, taking these truths and pretty much being our 1990s or back to the past Twitter with his promos, because Twitter wasn't around back then. I guarantee people would have been saying that on Twitter if that was around. Maybe Twitter. Well, we all know Twitter started in the porta potties of America, where people write on the walls with the in the porta potties. Screw you, or that's where Twitter that's where the idea came from. That guy that invented Twitter was working on a construction site. Went to use the bathroom and saw all the writing on the wall, or for a good time call so, and he said, maybe we do this on the internet, and that's what Twitter did. That's just my opinion.
I mean, maybe. Well, so if he wanted to follow his favorite person, he just put a check mark beside it.
Yeah. So instead of going to all the porta potties around the construction site and all wherever town he was, or going to all the truck stops, and reading everyone's tweets, he decided to make it all on the World Wide Web. That's where Twitter came from.
It was too smelly in the porta potty, so it's like, what? The phone, that's the place.
But all in all, I loved it. I love the promo from Christian. Christian just, Christian now Jericho. We know that they could do the promo skills. It's not to us. This is not surprising. I'm not surprised Are you surprised that Christian and even Jericho cutting these promos? No.
No, not really. I mean, granted, the Christian's not more known for it, but anyone that looks back on his like old ECW stuff from back in like '09 or whatever, like yeah, Christian's good on the stick. He's really good at cutting promos when he wants to. Like I can admit it. The one thing he did get held back from today was promo skills. But again, if you go back and look at Christian's prime, so to speak, at WWE again back in '09, back in the new version of ECW, oh, he cut some amazing promos, especially as ECW champion. So yeah, he's got that ability. No one's really surprised if we know about it.
Right, and that was phenomenal. Then we get the match. He tells Luchasaurus, look at Garrison's picture. He cut one on social media. He looked at like Jungle Boy, and I guess he just mentioned the name Jungle Boy, and it just triggered the living crap out of Luchasaurus. And Luchasaurus goes in the ring and just has a match, a beatdown, kind of a squash match. And of course, you see at the end, Luchasaurus after the match takes Garrison, puts him on the table, and he botches the table breakup. Now, they didn't break the table on the first time. He had to do it a second time to break it, although it looks much more better than a broken skateboard when you're going to turn on your tag team partner, NXT Cora Jade. Man, I felt so bad that day. I was like, oh my God, why did the freaking skateboard break before she hit her? But I digress, though. The table didn't break the first time, so Luchasaurus still looks like a bad lizard. He's a bad mother lizard out there.
Bad mother lizard. And yeah, I saw that trending on the internet with from NXT where she just swung it so hard it just broke in midair.
It was already broken in midair.
And I'm just like, oh, that's just one of those things you can't blame anyone on. That's just bad luck.
Just bad luck for Cora Jade, yeah. Yeah, that was bad luck. But I liked it. I like what happened here. There's a story to be told here, and the heat. Although I want one criticism, though. You know how many times we always say AEW, when the match is over, you get a shitload of people coming out and interject and, oh my God, pandemonium. I was waiting. Where the hell was Matt Hardy at?
I'm actually kind of glad Matt Hardy didn't come out, because if Luchasaurus is the one that injured him and you were trying to put it over as a major threat, like as this major monster now, then you want to tell the story of like, man, when Luchasaurus gets a hold of you, then you better want to fight. So I'm really glad that actually they didn't have Matt Hardy come out, because it would tell the story of like Luchasaurus, he can flat out destroy you right now.
You could have had Matt Hardy still come out being held back by the officials, with maybe seeing him held with a neck brace or something ill that are preventing him from getting hurt. And maybe you could tell, have Luchasaurus give him another wallop. You already got two guys already to the table. Other than that, that's all a little bit of a nitpick. That's just minor. That's just me. I know it might work for other people and like it. And I'm saying it didn't. I didn't say it didn't work either. I'm saying I would have loved to add a little bit of extra more spice. Maybe I like my breakfast burritos from San Antonio with a little more of picante sauce.
Wouldn't have stolen the spotlight though from Luchasaurus just a little bit after he put the guy to the table.
But if he beats the crap out of Matt Hardy again,
I guess so. I mean,
now you get took care of three guys. But like I said, it's just me wanting to add a little extra spice.
Yeah, I like this simplistic booking though of him just flat out kicking the piss out of people every week.
All right, and then next coming up, we turn back the clock. We get into the Back to the Future mobile. We go back to 2012. We have none other than Claudio Castagnoli versus Jack. I'm afraid of fighting Billy Swanson in Bellator. Hager. Now, Jericho, it was a rematch pretty much. Blackpool Comic Club and Jericho Appreciation members here squaring off. The former, of course, you saw good job there on Excalibur. He went, he was reading the WWE archives because he had everything about it. Their head-to-head matches before, how long they were a tag team, how many matches they had as a tag team. He had the whole WWE encyclopedia on his lap there. Good job though. That's what you do. You become, if you're going to be a broadcaster and a journalist, you want to have your facts. So I got to give Excalibur a thumbs up on that. And Hager weathered a storm early. Now, I remember I was telling you backstage, or on Twitter, we were tweeting or texting. If me and you would have had a drinking game from the very beginning of the match, or anyone, if you guys want to have some fun, if you don't have to work, you don't have to drive or go anywhere on a Wednesday night, get yourself a nice bottle, or just soda or whatever. And every time Cardio does a European uppercut, have a drink. Because if you were drinking alcohol, you would have got alcohol poisoning. Because it always seems that he does is just like, you're a freaking European uppercut and the swing, and that's why you see what he is. He's a good ring performer, but can you please stop using the same moves over and over and over and over again? I mean, is it me? Is it me being picky?
No, I wouldn't say so. Only because of one sole reason. Because if you're trying to go back to your, I guess you say, independent name / now AEW name, you want to get rid of that WWE cologne, so to speak.
Yeah.
Then you want to try to do something different, and I feel like a lot of AEW wrestlers that are ex-WWE wrestlers, they don't realize this. Yes, it's cool to do the stuff that got you over in the first place, but you want to try to create a new environment for yourself in AEW. You want to try to create a new you, and it's even okay to keep the same finish. I'll give them that. That's a pass. You can keep the same finish, but when you're trying to do the same moves that you were in WWE, then people aren't going to look at you and go, "Oh, that's Claudio Castagnoli." They're going to look at you and go, "Oh, that's Cesaro. That's the guy that came up with that weird thing. Also, that wanted to go, Matsumania, dun dun dun. That's the guy that come out with Oksana and all that. You want to have a fresh new start, no matter what ex-WWE guy you are, and you're not going to have a fresh start if you keep reminding people of Cesaro or whatever your name was in WWE. You want to do something different, show the fans exactly why WWE has been holding you back. Not saying WWE has been, because maybe they haven't with some wrestlers, but you want to show them like, hey, yeah, WWE has been holding me back, and here's why. Here's what I actually can do. Here's what I'm actually really good at. Know what I can do in the ring. Know what I can do story wise. And Cesaro right now, aka Claudio Castagnoli, is actually proving a lot of the haters and WWE right, because he's not really showing us why it was such a bad thing for WWE to let him go, and that's just the truth. And same with Jake Hager. Not saying these two aren't talented, because they are. They can do some good stuff, but what exactly is so good about you on the table that WWE has to feel so bad about letting you go?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And by the way,
Yeah.
that cologne that he wears is called MDA by Vince.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's the cologne he wears from the WWE. Get it at the WWE store. So MDA by Vince.
All right, ordering some right now.
If you order it now, you put 15% code Heal the Ring and get a 50% off the cologne. Now we move on. There's cheap plug there. Now with Castelloni, and I said about the drinking game, the repetitiveness on the match there. I'm like, I do appreciate that he was trying to put some sharpshooters. He has some sharpshooters in that as well. Although he didn't, they call this Scorpion Deathlock. I'm like, okay, so tonight it's Scorpion Deathlock, but when FDR does it, it's a sharpshooter. Okay, I get it. Whatever the case is, I feel bad for Hager. And although I roast him because of my MMA program, we have Billy Swanson, former Bellator or current Bellator heavyweight, on with us, a friend of the program, and he wants to fight. He's been calling Hager out for a year now, last August, and Hager's been avoiding him. He hasn't been on it in the UFC ring, in a Bellator ring either for a while in the Octagon. And I know Billy wanted to fight him, even though Billy was coming off a loss. I feel bad for Hager. He's got skills. Even when he came out with We the People, we heard some We the People chant, by the way, in the crowd on AEW last night. And Remember, he was a heavyweight champion in WWE when SmackDown was recorded, and he still got over. You know, the talent is there. I don't know what it is that with it. Maybe his charisma or his appeal for some reason doesn't elevate him. He should be more, and he has a good solo match when he does wrestle in AEW. He has had a good win-loss record, and his matches seem memorable when he goes one-on-one for some reason. But I don't know why he has not gone to that. It was like a battle of mediocre talent, not in the ring. I think these guys are world-class wrestlers, but the pop and the buzz of us fans, it was like the battle of the mediocres last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's. I think he pretty much summed it up. I think these two wrestlers look like they have potential of being the main event, but there's just something holding them down, and nobody can really quite put their finger on it.
Yeah.
And obviously, Swagger, aka Hager, has been to that world stage before, where he's been a world champion and all that. And I think honestly with Hager, he just flat out he just looks tired right now. Like,
and he's not even fighting in MMA either.
If you go back and look at his WWE SmackDown run, he looks so refreshed, so energized. You know, he looks so just a lot more polished, I guess you can say. I mean, look now, like I don't know if it's age or whatever, but he just looks so tired, almost like he's like, just not. He's just kind of like there now.
I hope, and I'm just saying, I hope I'm talking crap inside of my mouth. I hope there's no substance abuse issue or something funky. I hope not, Hager, because also maybe that's why he hasn't been in the MMA octagon for almost a year. His last fight, close to it, and they check the wing wang out of you there. Hair follicles. They probably they check you for all types of stuff to be in that octagon. Hopefully, and he looks wrong physically, like you said, maybe with a little bit of age, maybe, but he's not that old. It's like in mid-30s. I don't know. For Hager, I hope it's not what we think it is. You're going a dark path, or maybe he's going through something personal. A spouse split up, dissolution of marriage. Oh no, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying the way he looks in his roster, he don't look the same. Like you said, Hager, rejuvenated, energized, and like wrestling. Maybe that's why he took a break from wrestling. He went to the MMA. He just didn't want to deal with the wrestling minutia, and he went to MMA. And then, Jericho called, and his company started. Remember, he's been there since day one too. He's a day one guy, and hopefully, I hope he's doing well. I hope it's not something outside. If it is, I hope he gets the right help, because he might be a mid card to us, and like, but he is still. I kind of liked it. I like the way the people move with him in the WWE, with Coulter, and then with Cesaro as a tag team, and so forth. I liked it. I didn't think it was bad of gimmick. I was like, man, they let him go from the Rio. He went up when they let him go. It's like, all American. He has the look, but we'll keep an eye on that. For Castanado, we'll see if he skyrockets. Now, what do you do here? You can't Claudio, you really want to put him against Warlord and get him squashed? Or make you're not gonna have Warlord drop the TNT title to him. Also, do you make him part of an interim, but you're not gonna have him go up against Moxley? Maybe could you build him when Moxley eventually drops into Punk, and you're gonna then you're gonna go, here's another ex-WWE pay-per-view main event between Claudio and Punk. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. AEW put themselves in a corner by but we'll do that for another podcast. But we'll move on to the program. We'll get that was the crossover match, the hour between these two. That could have been a match number 2, in my opinion, and flip flop with the title. Then we get to the one and only famous 9:30 match, the 9:30 slot. Ladies, you got 10 minutes to get a match in and cut a couple meaningless promos. But it wasn't a meaningless promo when none other than Dr. Brick Breaker DMD comes out, and she said it true. Boy, this place is terrible when she's not booked or part of the women's program. And I hate to say it, she's kind of right though. I was like, as much as I was like, damn, can we get this? And I always said it, and I keep saying it. And AEW women roster, there is a lot of good women talent. And one thing, as much as sound like I hate on AEW or say they're bad, but when it comes to the women's division, I think they have a lot of good women wrestlers. They do. They really do. I wish, and I'm one of the champions to say, Tony Khan, forget about clash of titles, whatever, or trying to do a Forbidden Door. You know what's a Forbidden Door for the AEW company? Is an all women's freaking event. Dude, that's a Forbidden Door because you're kind of looking like a sexist pig in your company because you only put the women at 8:30 for 10 minutes, and it's like ugh. So I want you to do a Forbidden Door with the ladies match. You could do a whole card with women, and I think they're very entertaining, my opinion. And you saw that promo. I was like, good job there. Yeah, we want to see more Bit Breaker. We want to see more Jamie Hager. We want to see more. And that was a good promo. Then we get to the match. In her hometown, you had Anna Jay from the Dark Order taking on the Catcher's Mitt, Serena Deeb. What was your thoughts? Because I want to hear your thoughts, and we haven't done it in quite some time.
Well, obviously, my first thoughts was, it's the 9 o'clock hour, the women's special of the day. So I was like, I don't know why we still haven't made an intro for the 9 o'clock hour at this point. I know it's sad, but we need.
Oh, we got the 9 o'clock hour special.
Okay.
And yeah, we got it. When 9 o'clock comes, 9:30 comes out, the women's match comes out. Here it comes. It's the sexist pig hour.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, my first reaction was mainly like, okay, this looks like it can be a good match, but man, like, I hope you guys can really deliver because I'm just going to be honest with the AEW fans. When I watch Raw, I'm actually just a lot more excited to see the women, especially when you got the powerhouses over there. And then when you see here, you go watch like a big fall from the ladder. Have you ever tried to climb the ladder, then you just slip, and you're just like, oh my god, that was scary. I almost slipped all the way down. And I caught myself. That's kind of like AEW's like coming from the Raw Women's division to now. And then, like you said, you see a lot of the women. You're just like, man, if they just had different gimmicks, or even like different, even if something as simple as like different colors or something, and they showed different personalities, their women's division could be absolutely amazing. And on top of that, it booked tremendously better. But as for the match, it's kind of like a fan to Booker, I guess you can say, thing. It's like Kev, have you ever worked somewhere or like that, even as a child, where it's like, well, if my boss doesn't care about this, why should I?
You get to that. You start off with that attitude, and when you start seeing, you start seeing that, oh, I'm not getting the 100% that I'm giving. You tend to scale back your 100%, and it's starting. And
yeah, it's like part of me wasn't really that invested in this match because I'm like, well, Tony Khan doesn't care about the women's division that much, so why should I? I'm like, because I do want to pay attention, and I did try to watch this match, but I didn't really care about it. Cause I'm like, Tony Khan doesn't care about the women's division like that. Why should I?
I think he does. And as much as I don't like the guy, but I think he cares. He cares about every product, everything in his AEW, everything that happens. I think even for the kind of even the type of toilet paper that they use in the stalls, I think he cares a lot because he shows he wants to hug everybody. Talk about NDA coming soon. But he cares. I just think he forgets. He's too busy invested on, let me get all this, let me get these guys, I want this guy, I want him to push a great product, I want them to check. This is awesome. And then at the end he goes, oh crap, I forgot we have to book a women's match. Oh, damn. All right, you and you. The first lady of the ACC, you're gonna wrestle tonight. That's what it seems, that's what it projects. And then he goes, you know what? I'm gonna save face because after that match is over, I'm gonna have you, Jay. My price for this and Jay Cargill. Yeah, you're gonna get on TV for 30 seconds. You're gonna do a promo, and you're gonna tell Tony to cut the shit, and then you're gonna leave. It's copy repeat. It's like when you do a video description. I like to put put all my information where to find us on the link video, LinkedIn, and I just copy and paste that, and that's what he seems like he does every week, a little bit behind the curtain there, a sneak peek.
Yeah,
I think that's what he does.
It could be, because let me tell you, not only from a viewer to a watcher, but anywhere, even if it's a job or heck, even a YouTube channel. Part of the reason why I always want to bring my best to you guys is because Kev always sets a good example. Because, like, I'm like, man, if Kev can do this, then I should be able to do that. And it's in this case, it's the same thing as far as like viewer to watcher. I'm like, if Tony Khan wants us to care about the women's division, then he should start paying more attention to it. That's why when I watch Raw, I'm like, man, they really take the women's division seriously. I wonder what they're going to do this week for the women's division. It's kind of like you got to install that mentality into your viewers or workers, whatever it may be, and be like, we care about it, so that means you should too, or at least put some effort into trying to invest in it. And it's like you got to always have that vibe around it, and yeah.
And I want to interject on that one because I say, oh, well, WWE, they give you the same women's matches over and over. How many times I can see Doudrop and Nikki Ash take on, because, and I said it once and I said 1,000 times, WWE don't wrestle just once a week. This is WWE has, out of the 7 days a week, maybe 4 shows, including the house shows. And they go to different towns. And when you go to your town, and if you're buying and spending money in the hard work to watch these performers, you want to see, I'm going to use, like I said before, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. You want to see them wrestle in front of your eyes, in front of your hometown. It might be a repetitive. I saw that on Raw. You're giving me the again, but they're catering to the folks. They're saying thank you for all those people, like all of us that work our asses off, out in the hot heat, sweat, whatever the case is, and we want to use that luxury money and spend it on WWE to go get entertained. They're going to give us the same, even if it's the same match, but they're going to give us those 2 quality competitors at the same time. That's why it looks different in AEW, because they only wrestle once a week on Wednesdays. And then, the occasional Saturdays when they do the pay-per-views, although everyone else goes to their own indies and they allow them to work indies and go different other cross promotion. But when it's an AEW product in whole, it's usually Wednesdays. And that's where the essence is lost there. And I think people complain, but we see Raw. Well, my point is, Raw is not afraid of taking the ladies and closing the Monday Night Raw program. We saw them main event over and over, with Becky Lynch, Asuka match, Becca Belair, Charlotte. Heck, they even closed a WrestleMania with the ladies. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that, maybe AEW needs to maybe change it just a tiny bit. I know that they're appeasing a hardcore of the male majority, but if you want to grow, and you claim you think you have a shot of signing Sasha Banks, which I already said before, she's staying in the WWE. She's gonna come back in Royal Rumble. She's gonna take time off. She's coming back in Royal Rumble. It's book it. You can book it.
Yeah. I don't even think you can use the male majority thing at this point in this day and age as like an excuse, because I think people forget for a time whenever Ronda Rousey in the UFC was the #1 draw, and who was paying to watch her? Majority of them were males.
Men, we were all
yeah, and they were watching her. I mean, granted, obviously, some of them were watching because she was good looking, but majority of them were also paying because they legit wanted to see her fight. So I don't even think, assuming I was talking to Tony Khan, I don't even think he can use that as an excuse of like, oh, we're booking towards majority of males, because like even some of my friends who watch it for like males, he likes watching the women because granted he's a casual, but he likes to watch them also because they're beautiful and whatnot.
And I was gonna say that. So, yeah. Let's be honest. The women there, the match we had right now, Anna Jay, Serena Deeb. Anna Jay's beautiful. She's a very beautiful looking woman. You see her on the match. She's very beautiful. A very beautiful lady. You also see, some Jade Cargill. Another lady, some people, she's a very beautiful looking, big Amazon, good looking woman. Now with Gresham, Lady Gresham, another, they have Great Breaker. Adam, that's Adam, the Diff Man. That's his love of his life. He called it on the channel. He's a fan, a huge fan of Great Breaker. You see Jamie Hager, another. They're coming on. They're, and it's not about us seeing them all. Not to be like, they go this, they go no. Yeah, they're nice. They're giving us something to watch here, and let's face it, that's also show that's it sells. That's why we always say. That's why I don't remember who said the quote. I know it was Booker T. If they wanted to see that, if they and I know there's a lot of crap about body shaming or whatever and so forth. If they wanted to see someone who looked like Eddie Kingston, they'll just go outside and watch their neighbor wrestle. And I'm not trying to jump into that rabbit hole, but we also are visual. Unfortunately, with the world of Twitter and the world and since humanity, we all as humans, we judge by visual. And you see that grand champion, that muscular, like Warlord, and the beauty when it comes to the ladies, you're like, oh, I'm gonna pay more attention because that attracts us. And I think they have a lot of good showcase. They if they really wanted to compete and if they're signing all these XWD writers, give them some autonomy to just maybe Khan needs to get a booker or a producer who work just with the women and let him do whatever, like similar with Triple H did with NXT. Give him NXT, leave him alone, let him have all his fingerprints, thumbprints, everything on it. And you saw the product he gave us with the black and gold. They say that was one of the best things that Triple H has created. Maybe they need that kind of innovation when it comes to the women's, and hands off, Tony. I'll sign the checks and I'll tell you when I want them on to wrestle. And you know what? You got all creative. Go for it. And give it 6 months to somebody to see if they could turn over that women's AEW division on there, because I really think that they got gold in the women's division, me personally.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for going on the huge rant, but overall, the match was decent, and yes. I'm just tired of like the AEW, like as much as it is funny, it's I want them to start treating their women's wrestlers right, it gets to the point, it's like, why even work there if you already know like what's gonna happen as a woman,
Right, and it's not going to change because they're going to sign. They're thinking they have an opportunity to sign Sasha, or if they're going to sign Paige, aka Saraya. Oh yeah, wait until they sign them. That's going to change. No, because you did the same thing with Athena, and Athena, it's been out 2 weeks. We haven't seen Athena. She cut a promo last week, and that's it. Where at least, all right, if you bought Athena here, at least why couldn't, I know you're telling a story because you're trying to get it for the ROH pay-per-view with Serena Deeb and Martinez before Death Before Dishonor. I know you're trying to promote that, but here you just signed Athena. Everybody was going nuts, pop on when she made her debut, and now she fought a couple matches in dark already when no one watched. So you're getting into again Ruby Soho. Oh my gosh, she's phenomenal. Riot Squad. Oh, I can't wait. And she's pretending to get her door slammed, hand and injured on the door. Now the other part of Riot Squad is the SmackDown Women's Champion. You had a chance of making Ruby. You had the AEW. You had a chance to beat WWE to the punch by making Ruby Riott your Owen Hart tournament champion. You messed up. Think about it, because then I would have been Liv winning the title would have been that's a response to AEW because Ruby Riott won the breakout tournament and she has that phony title for Owen Hart, but now you blew it. You blew the line.
And Liv Morgan was trending all over Twitter when she cashed in and won. That was a big deal to a lot of people, and that was her first ever title run after years, I think.
Yeah, and you could have won up WWE on that with the Riot Squad facet by having Ruby Riott win that breakout, but you didn't do it. So we get Serena Deeb winning this match on a submission. Anna Jay, the match was a little clunky, like you said. The crowd was not invested. I felt bad for Anna Jay's parents who were in the crowd, and I said, oh, Anna Jay's here. Oh man, really? They're gonna make Anna Jay beat Serena Deeb when she's about to challenge for the Ring of Honor title? I'm like, it kind of was like weird, but no, she loses here, and of course Serena Deeb keeping the submission hold past the referee's count, and you had Martinez come in and interject herself. Martinez running down the ring, running down the aisle with no bra, by the way. You see a lot of clapping going on in her chest. I'm like, lady, come on, put on a sport bra or something, lady. And she comes down running down there. So all in all, it's setting up for Death of Dishonor pay-per-view for Ring of Honor. Okay, I get it. We move on there. We get to a backstage promo Again, copy, repeat. Jay Cargill. There you see that dissension between the women's champion and you got Stokely Hathaway now, and now they look like they're not on the same page. Like, what are we doing here? You brought this guy in from NXT. You got rid of Mark Sterling. You brought him in here. You thought things were going to be better, and it seems like they're doing the same gimmick again with Mark Sterling. If all it does is make Jay Carter looks like a real rude, baddie, bad bitch, baddie move. They're not liking Leah Gray in them as an interim baddie. So what happened to Red Velvet? She's out, or what's the deal? I totally it went over my head. Last minute they bring this young lady in, and where's the botch machine in Red Velvet?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, you know why? Because you only get a few seconds at the end at 9:45. They put this up here. All she does is tells homie to cut the crap and just walks off, and it's just like, are you ever gonna wrestle? It's like that's what I say to myself. Hey Jay, are you ever gonna wrestle, and are you gonna do other than that same move that you do over and over? Like, it's like she's another one that's starting to get a little tiresome, and I don't know if they're really protecting her, but it's like that's another bad booking.
Yeah, because obviously when you hit the 9 o'clock hour, you're trying to rush everything to get to that main event, because you want to make sure that main event has a lot of time. So
and it hasn't been, because usually it got sloppy. So we get to the main event time. The main event, 3-way dance for the AEW Tag Team Champions. Now, before we go there, the tag team main event, we get another promo. Telling a story here, we see Anna Jay in the back with her knee getting looked at, and we saw her former best friend, none other than Ty Conti, talking trash and saying, you're making some really bad feud. You're making some bad choices there, probably setting up a feud or dissension with Anna Jay, because maybe Anna Jay does need to leave the Dark Order, because I don't see Dark Order as a serious situation, and I don't know. It was that. I thought they could have done without that.
I'll be honest with you, when it comes to AEW, they don't need all these factions, especially because the only two that are really that over are the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society. So with those two factions being majorly over, it's like the other factions just take a back seat, and then as soon as they come out, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that faction. Right. And then as soon as they leave, you're like, okay, we're back to Jericho Appreciation Society, and then the Blackpool Combat Club, and then you're like, oh yeah, AEW is just all about them. So I'll be honest with you, all these different factions are kind of unnecessary. So it's and I get it. You have to find stuff for these wrestlers to do, because you didn't sign them for no reason. But I think you could. I mean, if you're Tony Khan, you bought Ring of Honor for a reason. Why not go send wrestlers to Ring of Honor? I hate doing this, because I don't want AEW fans to think I'm just some big WWE mark or whatever, because I just love the sport in general. But why not send some AEW talent to Ring of Honor? Start using that the way WWE is using NXT, or something like that. I don't know. Like, that's just a suggestion. I mean,
they need another day of wrestling with a whole new audience. Even if you make it 2 days in the same arena, I don't know if they have the capability or a smaller venue. And even if it's on YouTube, and hey, you guys pay for YouTube subscribers to join some of these guys that are just going to talk and repeat, talk about wrestling. You have to subscribe to be a member. There's memberships. If you tell them you're going to be a $3.99 membership, AEW, and you're going to have Ring of Honor, and you have matches from a small venue, and you could bring some of your AEW lesser talent or overflow and make a whole 3-hour show if you're a member, you get on it. I'm guaranteed they'll get some high numbers in YouTube, alone. And I think they could do another show until network TV gets you another deal. Even if it's not on TBS, even if you have to go down and get maybe a True TV or something, XM, whatever. And I think it will work. But that's just us. And you know, it's easy said to us when we, you know, it takes millions of dollars to put on a production like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I know it's easier said than done, but maybe that's something they're gonna need. Maybe just a Ring of Honor only, and with AEW infused talent, like you said, NXT. You know, have people guys come in there and wrestle at times. You're probably right. Hey, NXT is doing it, but WWE is a $1 billion company. Now I don't think AEW is there yet. You know, but eventually will be. Maybe not. But we get to the main event. We get the Bucks come out. Team Taz, Ricky Powerhouse, and Keith Lee and Swerve comes in a 3-way dance for the big stake of the tag team title. The match starts. You see I'm not gonna lie. The match, everyone, all the competitors there, they all brought their A games. I thought this was a good main event. I think the main event was really good, well done. You saw some great moves. This is the type of event where you bring a over the top flip from Keith Lee. This is where you take it out. This is when you use it, because when you do it, it becomes special. I appreciate, as much as everyone knows, that when I come on and I get on the position and I look at the camera and I say, Keith Lee, you suck. But he bought it last tonight. Although I could have went with it where Keith Lee, you know, you got beat up, get the hell out of the ring. You're just sitting there like a big turd in the middle, in the corner, where these guys don't want to do their high flying or quick match, and you're just taking up space. I don't know if it was done on purpose or what, but all in all, the match was good. The only thing that was a referee botch. You know, are you gonna get knocked down or not? He thought about it. He just didn't learn, like he didn't know how to take a bump, the referee bump. Although they didn't really need it. What was your thoughts on the match?
To me, the match was really good. I personally was going for what I like to call Team Taz. I think it was a Powerhouse Hobbs and who else? Ricky Starks, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was cheering for them, but I knew that, I knew they were the least likely to win out of all 3 teams. I know you want to save the main thing for later, so I'll just gonna say, overall though, the match was really good. I did like it. The only thing I'll throw in there for us to talk about later is, do you think this was a response to them about the Usos and Street Profits turning it up in the tag team division in WWE? Because they've really been selling the show over there.
They've been selling the shows. Also, FTR still in the tag team, Lightning and Thunder from AEW as well. We heard last week when the Bucks came out to make a proposed title match here. They wanted FTR. The crowd was chanting for FTR. It looked like it looks like the winner of this 3-way is going to take on FTR eventually here, maybe in September or in Grand Slam. We don't know, but to everyone's shocking, but before we do an all shocking event, we get a new tag team champion. I didn't think the Bucks were going to drop the titles 3 weeks after conquering them from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and we get the team of Strickland and Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. I can't even say Keith Lee, but Keith Lee. Yes, they are tag team AEW tag team champions here. Now, not because I'm biased on Keith Lee and I don't like him. I think he doesn't move the needle for me. But you have AEW originals in Powerhouse Hop and Ricky Stark, young guys, talented. Yet again, you take the titles from your first day at the job, starters of the company, Young Bucks, and you handed it over to the ex-WWE guys again. Now, earlier in the day, or actually 24 hours prior to this decision, I think these titles were not going to Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I don't think they were going to change the titles. I think that the Bucks were supposed to retain this tag team titles. I think the day of the event yesterday, I think Khan decided to change his mind and take the titles off the Bucks. Look for the Bucks, hopefully if there's a little bit of a ripple or a rip there, keep an eye on that. Just keep an eye on that, folks, because there was a tweet by Keith Lee kind of threatening to leave AEW, take a sabbatical. Like, he wasn't happy at what was going on. He was complaining. He was on his ambulance about, regardless of the outcome, you guys are gonna miss me, whatever the case is. Like he's gonna take, he's scheduled. He wants to take time away from the ring, trying to pull off what happened before in AEW, taking just time away. And 24 hours later, he is tag team champion. So squeaky wheel gets the grease. The baby that cries gets the tit in his mouth, and Keith Lee bitch and complain on social about leaving, and now he is world champion. To agree or disagree, go to Keith Lee's Twitter account. Go look at his tweet, and it's there for your interpretation. I'm not speaking. What's your thoughts?
He might have deleted it by now because
I saved it.
Oh, okay.
I saved it. I think I sent it to you. It's on the Twitter.
Yeah, you did. I mean, if I were you, I would post it on your Twitter and go promote.
Oh, absolutely. I would do that.
Yeah, because you never know if he would delete it just because, because you never know what the conversation was like between him and Tony Khan. It could have been just like, okay, Keith, fine, we'll give you the tag team titles, and then, you promise you'll stay and, stop crying and whatever. You never know. So, go to BX Sports Jedi. I think your Twitter is right. Yeah.
BX Sports Jedi, and I will have it there. Also in our Facebook page, on the Rio in the Ring group page, I will post it there as well. And when I want to talk, I want to bring receipts. I bring receipts. I bring it there because nothing gives you more credibility with receipts than facts. You could talk. Words are taken by the air. You could talk it, and it's just going to go to nowhere. It's going to evaporate. But when you have facts and you bring it, it's there. And Keith Lee threatened. And I'm not saying he don't deserve it. Does he deserve it? Of course he does. He deserves it. But I didn't like that. You're kind of crying to get your way, and I think
politics, as they call it, wrestling politics.
Yes, and I think guys like Hobbs and Ricky Stark, like them or don't like them, they are AEW original. They're younger than you guys. Their contracts are coming up. You give them a title run. Hey, to me, I think this is the beginning of the end for Ricky. I've been saying it anyway. I don't think Ricky Stark stays long with AEW. I think he's quietly going to leave. You're going to see he's going to let his contract expire, and he'll be gone. He'll be gone with Cody. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, again, as we've been saying for a long time, don't be surprised if a lot of AEW originals start leaving to the E.
Yeah, and I'm going to look for that for a minute there. Now, we get a victory, the title, and once again, AEW cuts themselves short with the time because they had to go and leave. They went over 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and we saw a little bit of confetti come down. To them, it was a big deal, and they went away. And you could have cut that Anna Jay promo. You could have cut the crap out of it, showing up a certain type of matches or something there, and you would have gave this and made a big deal about it. It would have meant something really special to finish week 1 of Fyter Fest with the new tag team title change, but it didn't look so hot for us because it went away. Now, people in the arena, they're gonna enjoy it, but for us on TV, it looked like fans. We gotta go. We out of time. WCW copy and paste.
Yeah, it was just like yay, and then we're done, and then you go to your usual American Dad.
Yeah, or Sheldon.
Yeah, or Shelton, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but now let me ask you this title run. Is it going to be a short one, or is it going to be a long one for these two? Because guess what I thought. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but you saw Strickland thought about turning on Keith Lee there when the referee botched and fell and finally got injured. Oh my God, I got knocked out. He looked like he was going to turn on him. I hope they're not going to copy and take away from Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Remember, they won the tag team title last week. This week with they're champions, and you got the major heel turn. So, could you see that happening there?
I think there's a chance it could. I'm leaning more towards long one because, especially if they truly are serious about threatening to leave and all that. Well, I should say Swerve, but Keith Lee is. Then it could be a long one, and I'm just saying, especially if these keeps going, and he does keep crying, don't be surprised if Swerve does turn on him. Then they do a feud. Keith Lee wins that, and then eventually down the line, Keith Lee becomes one of your new AEW World Champions.
Well, Keith Lee said he's not leaving the company. He just wants to take some time away. Here's the tweet. Go ahead, Heel, if you could read it.
Got some very much less than stellar news today. No matter what the result, tomorrow's match belongs to my two brothers. It's all I can do until I return. Love you, boys. So I guess he's taking the break no matter what then, right?
That's what it seems. That's what it wrote there. Then to the response of Coney Khan responded, I should have recorded. I should have bought that and taken a picture of that. Tony Khan responds saying, we are giving you a title match, like, kind of panicking. We're not getting a Sasha Banks and Naomi here where he's going to walk out on this main event. He will be there. Kind of, I'm paraphrasing, and all that, when I saw that, I said, they're not winning this tag title. Swerve Strickland is going to turn on him, injure the crap out of him. He's going to take time away from the TV. You're going to set up Bucks retain. Bucks eventually going to take on FTR, where everybody wants to see, everybody's excited, and we're going to get that. And now we got a little bit of a curveball here, Swerve, if no pun intended here. So, and this was on the 12th at 8:25 in the evening.
I mean, there could be a chance that he's just gone for like a couple weeks and then he returns. Because, if I don't know if he actually has like actual two brothers in real life. If that's the case, then maybe he's not crying. Maybe he's just like, hold on, let me see myself. I know I hate doing this too, but I'm gonna see if he does have any like siblings.
No matter what the results tomorrow, match belongs to my two brothers. Unless
let's see.
As we do a little investigating on it, could be because also we could be talking about Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay, it doesn't say anything about him having siblings. I don't see anything. I mean, he might, but yeah. I mean, again, if he does have two siblings that are two brothers, then maybe. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is time can tell. And if he does have two brothers that something bad happened to them, then all we can say is over here is we apologize.
Indeed,
because it could be just something short that happened to his two brothers, and then he'll just come back, or it could be actually him just talking about AEW, like his AEW brothers.
He just wanted to take a break. He just wanted, and he was frustrated because there was also tweets going around and I wrote it and I copied it and showed you the Keith Lee experiment is a failure. I remember that before he won the title. I wrote that to you backstage before they even ever wrestled. I was like, you know what, this is gonna be when I saw that and I sent you that, I told you that, boy, yeah, this experiment with him is total colossal fail. What a game changer. And now he is the tag team. I know folks are happy for him and excited. Good. I'm happy you guys are happy that he is. Congratulations for winning the tag titles there. But if it was on the merit if it was on the merit that you were threatening to leave, then that was class.
It's really sour. Yeah.
It's sour. If that's the case, I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm hearing.
Yeah. I hope it was just an emergency or something like that, and then Tony Khan just said, "Hey, we plan on making you the tag champ, something like that anyway. So, you mind holding it, and then you just take a break for like 2 weeks to go check on your family or something like that."
To me, I think they're transitional tag team champions.
Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah, because I know people quickly say, "Oh, that's the Bucks not wanting losing to FTR."
Well, only time's gonna tell, because I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to make predictions and all that, but only time will tell what's gonna happen with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
Well, for tonight, I will say it myself. Keith Lee, you're a champion tonight. I can't say you suck because you have gold around your waist. So like a broken clock, just like Joey Gallo, the broken clock is correct twice a day. And tonight, the clock was right for you, my friend Keith Lee. So you were right tonight. Congratulations. And enjoy this title run here. Just don't get too much used to it because I don't think you're gonna hold it for long.
Yeah. Speaking of the pen, are you getting it warmed up?
Oh, the pen is warming up.
Okay.
But all in all, what was your thoughts on AEW tonight? You know what? I thought it was good.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't the most entertaining AEW I've ever watched, but you know what? It was good enough. You know what? There are some wrestling shows where it's like, you know what? This isn't like so good where I'm like, oh my god, this is like so intense. But there are some wrestling shows that are good enough to the point where, like, let's just say one day you're in a hotel room and you just turn on, you're like, you know what? This is good enough to keep me entertained while I'm just like trying to pass the time or whatever. That's kind of how I felt like watching this. I felt like if I was in a hotel room just flipping through the channels, I feel like, oh, it's wrestling's on. Let's just watch it. Like, oh, this is fun. You know, so I would give it like a solid C plus, maybe B minus. That's kind of where I'm at.
2 hours on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the syndicated programming on TV is either on reruns or summer break. Maybe some of us are a little baseball out a little bit. You know, like another baseball game, or simply your team played the getaway game early on a Wednesday afternoon, and there's nothing on Wednesday night, or you're playing the worst team in MLB at home, and you're like, I could skip it. You know, and you want to watch it. Entertained. You know, it took you away from a moment, a little bit of escape, and that's what it did. It gave you an escape away, trying to get over that hump in the middle of the week. And AEW delivered. I thought it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, and it wasn't horrible, but it was good enough. It'll be interesting to see the numbers. Although I think the viewerships are going to be low again because, like I said, you know, it had good stuff with Warlord. The main event, a lot of people liked it, and it had its moments. But the lead off to the main event, the women's Boar Fest, there was a hard stuff for you to want to stay. Like it's 9:30, you're like, you know, and then plus if you are invested, if you're not watching the baseball game and it's 9:30 and you see the ladies there, and you go turn over, let's say if you're a Yankee fan, that's when the Yankee action was happening. They were making their comeback. The game was a close game. You're like, I'm gonna stay with the baseball. I'm not gonna finish watching them. You might have missed them.
Yeah,
because of what happened at night.
Yeah, especially with the notifications, everything. Now let's just say you have the Yankees as your notification, right? And it pops up on ESPN. You know, da-da-da-da-da, you know, Yankees now making a comeback in the 9th inning or whatever. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, forget, you know, AEW right now. You know, I'm gonna go to the Yankees game because I hear there's a big drama happening in the 9th or whatever.
That's exactly why I put the reference, because I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to find when they actually gave us an update. According to my sources here, one of our guys in the program, apparently MJF has left AEW. Breaking news there. I don't know how real, you know, my source, he is one of our guys in the program that works with us. The Samurai has given us, and of course we shall see. We shall see there. We don't want to do a Raj Giri, you know, say that Sasha Banks left the company, and meanwhile she's still on the roster and getting a W2, drawing a paycheck from WWE. You know, and meanwhile you said since June she's not on the roster, and they make you look like with egg on your face. You know, so we'll see. I don't see it trending.
Yeah, nope. I don't see anything here about MJ.
I don't see anything either. And speaking of Sasha Banks and people getting all wrong, she is gonna make her first appearance outside in Chicago Comic-Con. You know, it's $190. $90 to take a picture with her, personalized picture. She will be there. And one thing is that if she's making a public appearance there, could have, and she's still going as Sasha Banks. You know, of course, they made it seem more of the Mandalorian character, so they're trying to get the wrestling and Star Wars fans to go see her. It's interesting because she's still using Sasha Banks, and her Twitter feed is still at the real Sasha, Sasha Banks, Mercedes, Sasha Banks. So I said my piece already. I don't want to sound like a broken record about her. I said my piece and my thoughts, and I'm sticking to it still. Tomorrow night, SmackDown will be in Orlando, Florida, live. Michael Cole, by the way, was in NXT. We saw him. He walked by us. He was backstage. He was part of NXT 2.0 on Tuesday night. He was there live. When the other wrestlers as well was in attendance backstage at NXT. Remember, it's in Orlando, Florida, NXT Performance Center. SmackDown is in Orlando, Florida. Bayley has been in Orlando, Florida for about almost 3 weeks now. I think she makes her appearance tomorrow night back on Monday night on SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown. I think she makes an appearance back to return. I don't know in what capacity, but I think she returns. I think we're going to get a lot of surprises tomorrow night at Raw. I mean, again, here I go with Raw. It's WWE SmackDown. Get it right, Jobber. So,
all right.
So, any thoughts before we say goodnight?
No, just like you, I said my piece, and yeah, all I gotta say is, like I said, it was a really solid AEW show. That's really it.
I'm looking forward for week 2.
Yeah, I'm just gonna end the show by saying, "Let's go Reds."
He's talking about Jericho making Kingston bleed. This bloodiness. We hope that we get our host next week, Adam the Diffman, who is a little bit couldn't fit the schedule. We miss Adam Diffman. We enjoy him doing the AEW podcast here. So hopefully he'll be back. He'll be back, folks. And he'll tell us what time is it. And doing this our true invitation there. Now, from me to you guys, I want to thank you again. Thank you for helping us grow the podcast. Yes, Rome isn't built in a day. We're growing. We might not agree with certain our takes. Our takes might be different, might be not what you like or agree. But I want to thank you, despite the fact you take a minute to write in the comments, agree or disagree. I thank you for giving me your time, your opinion, your thoughts, and I appreciate it. I appreciate every moment from every tweet, even thumbs down. Thank you, because you took the time to give me your opinion, your thoughts. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you continue to, I hope we continue to grow and you continue to help us grow with us. And hopefully we'll see you as a panelist. If you guys, anyone that's watching wants to come out and wants to break down some of these matches, you see we have guys come from time to time. Let them know. Hit us up. We'll definitely go through the process and want to hear your thoughts. Come on camera and have your opinions with us. Let's have a healthy, respectable debate about AEW and WWE.
Especially for pay-per-views. I mean, if you guys want to come on for like SummerSlam or even any AEW pay-per-views or whatever, don't be afraid to come on. Yeah.
Let us know. Remember, I'm still looking for my MLW guys who could break it down, who watches it, as well as New Japan. I don't follow them. I don't have the time. Right now after this, I'm gonna go get ready for a Yankee watch along. So if you're listening to this live, you want to join me on the Yankee watch along, we're doing the Yankee watch along. In the chat, say hello. From Hail the Ring, and we'll give you a shout out on the comment section. We will highlight it. From me to you guys, I always tell you, always pin life and always get over on the situation. Don't let the situation get over on you. And always raise your hands for victory and always acknowledge the man above. So we thank you guys. We thank you so much. And we'll see you next time here on the Hail the Ring podcast. And if you ain't down with us, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know, my rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes.
Just subscribed. That's all I do, Gene-esque. Bye.